Hello, how's it going? So, today we are going to talk about Eliza and my thoughts after completing the game. I'm going to go over my likes, dislikes, the summary, basically, whether or not I would recommend the game, and there might be some slight spoilers. So, I will try to keep it to a minimum, nothing too serious, but just letting you know you've been warned. All right, quick summary of the game. It is based around Evelyn, who was a software developer at this company called Skanda. It takes place 3 years after she quits and kind of goes off the grid, basically. She avoids anybody who used to be friends with her and coworkers, stuff like that. But she decides that she needs to figure out what she's going to do. And so she decides to become a proxy for this AI counseling program called Eliza. And fun fact, Eliza was based off a actual program from the 1960s that was one of the first attempts at AI, apparently. I was like, whoa, that is mind blown. At least that's what Wikipedia told me. So if they're wrong, then that's blame them. But I think that's what I've heard. Anyway, so yeah, it just kind of uses technology to help people, and they need proxies to do that because basically the proxies are the ones kind of like reading off the script that Eliza is, coming up with and trying to help people, whatever they do in these therapy sessions. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. So I want to get into my likes and dislikes of this game. And one of them, first thing, I'll start with the likes. The likes, the voice acting is really great. Sometimes the main character sounds a little bit monotone, but I figured that's because, maybe they're going for that because she's literally reading off a script most of the time because as a proxy, that's what you're doing. So I was like, yeah, I think that's pretty much why. But anyway, but other than that, I really actually like her voice. And all the other actors were really good in it. Another thing is the art style. The art style is pretty great. I think it's, unique looking, but not so unique looking that it's weird. Pleasant to look at, I think. The only downside with that is that I felt like they could have done even more. There were like a lot of still moments where I felt like they could have at least done some animation or like some kind of like more drawings. That would have been really nice. I know it's a visual novel, so I get it. There's not going to be like a lot of animation, but I don't know, just like the style's really nice. So I thought they could do more of it. But another one is that I think I really enjoyed the fact that the plot was interesting. The fact that Evelyn was like an ex-developer that like is coming back to look at something that she helped create from like a different perspective, I thought that was kind of neat. And it's interesting seeing the perspectives of the people that she's worked with in the past. And, everyone has their own different view of how like this technology is happening. Like what's, because it's kind of crazy because it's taking place in a near future, I think. So it makes you think like, is this what's going to happen? And everyone has these different ideas of like where they want to be in the future and like where they want to take this technology. From Soren, Rainer, hell, Nora is probably doing something completely different than, what everyone else is doing. So I think the different characters were one of the stronger points of the series. The game. And I know that it's a visual novel and you're just basically just reading a story with some minor dialogue choices, but I kind of wish that there would be more diverging choices and diverging paths because you have like one really big choice in the end, but that kind of could have been better if there were a lot of different paths you could have taken. I feel like your dialogue choices didn't seem to really make much of a difference. So it would have been nice to see some kind of other change just because it's a visual novel doesn't mean that we can't get a little bit more. So another negative was at times, not often, but at times, the dialogue was a little bit boring. Nothing too bad. It wasn't boring for long. But there was times where I'm like, all right, we get it. Let's move on now. But that just could be a personal thing. It wasn't that big of a deal, but just thought I'd point that out. And then, so one of my favorite parts of the game was actually being the proxy. It was interesting, because you're talking to all of these different unique people, and for some reason, like when Evelyn, was doing all the other things in her life, just like seeing her friends, talking to Nora, talking to Ray, whatever, It just wasn't as interesting as like actually just talking to these people, just hearing them like freak out about their lives. I don't know, it was just kind of interesting. Maybe I should have been like a psychologist. But we missed that path in life, so it's fine. Um, and it does kind of suck when like you don't agree with what Eliza is saying, or like how she is, supposed to help them. Like, oh, she's gonna prescribe them medication, which, like, maybe they don't need the medication. Maybe if you said, with other things would have helped before. I don't know. There was like certain things where I was like, I don't think a human would have said that. But either way, like just learning about these people's lives were interesting. Yeah. So would I recommend this? I think overall I would probably say yes, I would. I think it's worth checking out the other endings. There was like 5 or 6 different choices at the end that would, change how the ending was. But that was like the main choice in the game. You just get that one really big choice, and then your ending is different. The game has a 9 out of 10 on Steam and it's a very positive rating. It was about $15, I think, and I think it's pretty much worth it. My average hours were 8 hours, I think. I think it was 8 hours. But I think it could be way less than that because obviously I'm recording while playing, so I'm reading it out loud, at least, some of the dialogue. So your playthrough might be different. Probably could have done that in like 5-6 hours, maybe. I don't know. Either way, I think if the game goes on sale, then it's worth it. And your ending might be different than mine because there were like 5 different choices at the end of the game, changed where Evelyn was gonna be, basically, how she was gonna end up. That brings me to my very final thoughts. This is all final thoughts, but this is my very final thoughts. Overall, I really enjoyed playing it. It was, pretty different. I like thinking about like the future. I like thinking about like where technology is going to be, even though it is scary because I feel like I can't trust people. I don't trust these companies, like Soren's company. I just don't trust. Oh, Soren and Rainer. Their companies I just don't trust. But hopefully in the future, you can only hope that people are going to, be responsible. But you can't really trust people, anybody. But yeah, interesting to see what the possibilities are, I feel. Because I feel like this game isn't that far from the truth. I feel like there definitely will be something similar, like in a therapy AI. Especially since they did like an attempt at it in the 60s. Like, that's crazy. I totally think that's going to happen. It may not work, but I think someone will definitely try it again. And other things that are terrifying. I think it's worth thinking about. And I think it's worth a play. One little quick playthrough. I think it's worth it. But yeah, overall, I liked it. And yeah. And I hope you like this format of me just talking about the game, basically summing it up. Nothing too serious, but hopefully that's something that you would watch for other games that I finished, which isn't many because I am terrible at finishing games, but hopefully I will do this more. Maybe for NeoCab, which I think I'm almost done with, but I have no idea really. But I feel like I've been playing it for a while, so it has to end at some point. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.